Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, September 1st. Happy Friday, everybody. It's 6:24 right now. Market's going to open in about 6 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a couple of things here to update. And YouTube is not working super well right now. Let me see. All right. It's kind of lagging right now. It's good. It's good. All right, perfect. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. All right, morning, everybody. We got a few moments for people to make their way in, and then we'll get started. Or I'll just get started right now. I don't need to wait for everybody. So I'll start marking up liquidity over here. I'm just going to mark up the close levels. You know, it's kind of pointless to mark up all the levels because price is not going to drop that far. Today's NFP, guys, so just keep that in mind. So I'll mark up the close levels right here. It's kind of pointless for me to go super far down. I'm not expecting price to drop that far anytime soon. So just to prevent us from wasting time marking stuff up, it doesn't really matter because a lot of these levels are going to line up with the lower levels anyways. Two-hour. Well, I usually mark them up for visualization purposes, but today, not really necessary. 30-minute. 15-minute. 10-minute, and we're good. Looks like NFP kind of knocked out a lot of liquidity, which was expected, to be honest. So I don't know if we have any liquidity coming up anytime soon. I mean, we'll see. There's liquidity down below, but it's not really that close. So we have liquidity down below, which is about 600 pips away. Might be useful, might be not. Got that right there. And then also liquidity above. So, all right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today's Friday, September 1st, first of the month. Happy Friday, everyone. 6:28 right now. Market's going to open in about 2 minutes. So I got liquidity marked up down below. We got liquidity up here as well. So upper liquidity is going to be at 35,067. Liquidity down below is going to be at, liquidity down below is going to be at 34,885. So if you guys are looking to take liquidity around those areas, ATR is currently at 11 right now. Volatility is actually very slow. And that's pretty much it for the moment. Let me go and check out the news real quick. So we got news at 5:30, which was NFP, of course. NFP was pretty mixed. I mean, it was all over the place. There was positive and negative, and it was pretty mixed for the most part. So we had news over there at 5:30. We have news at 6:45, 7. Okay, 5:30, 6:45, and 7. That's pretty much it. A markup news over here at 5:30. Market is opening right about now. Market is now open. So market is now open, guys. Probably want to be a little careful right here on open because obvious reasons. You don't want to get caught in this spike in price. So got news right there marked up, opening price right there. I'm going to mark up opening price over here as well. Come back and mark up structure a little later. That marked up right there. Okay, so the first entry I'll be looking for is going to be the opening entry that we typically follow. So I'm looking for, let's see, looking for that buy signal. So we have the buy signal right there. We'll be looking for like 2 red candles for the retracement back to the downside. I keep forgetting what we're going to call it. I did mark it up somewhere. Let me check if I can find the Google Drive. I keep changing the name for it, but what do I call it? I call it the momentum counter scalp. I'm calling it the momentum counter scalp for now. Might change the name, but for now I'm just going to leave it at that. So we have a buy signal right here. I'm looking for 2 red candles to confirm the retracement, basically a counter trend trade. And then I'm going to maybe catch it for a little push to the downside. Just 100 pips, nothing crazy. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for here. I'm looking for that entry on the first 30 minutes of market between 6:30 and 7. And then from there, I'll be looking for the momentum pullback scalp. So looking for 2 red candles right here. We got the momentum signal there. I'm looking for price to swing back down. So if I get 2 red candles, I'll be looking for a 100 pip push in the opposite direction. Nothing crazy. It's just a quick counter scalp trade. So, you know, I got to be in and out super quick. Can't linger for too long. So I'm forward testing that strategy, and we'll see where this ends up going. So we got about 19 seconds left on this candle. I just can't get a sell signal. So if I get a sell signal on whatever candle that comes up, so say for example, if I get a sell signal on the next one, I can't take it because that goes against my criteria. But if they're just 2 regular red candles, doesn't matter how big, how small, it's going to fit criteria. So if I get another red candle here, it's going to fit criteria. If it doesn't, then we're just going to have to wait for the most part. Looking over here at the ATR is currently 17, so volatility is pretty decent. It's nothing too crazy. Anyways, let's see who's here so far. Morning, Kevin. Morning, Van Harwick. Morning, Kenny. Morning, Randy. Morning, other Kenny. Morning, Daniel. Morning, iPad. Morning, Miguel. Samir. Morning, everybody. So, all right, price is pushing up. We don't have that red candle right there. Still waiting for it to swing down for the little counter trend trade that I'm looking to take here, or counter momentum, I guess, not necessarily counter trend because we're basing off momentum here. The trend doesn't really matter in this situation. So that's why the strategy is called counter momentum scalp, because we're just looking for momentum to swing the other way. And we're looking to catch it for a quick little push. All right, so as price continues to move along, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up the levels over here so that we have an idea for the momentum scalp to show up a bit later. Doesn't have to be anything crazy, but that's what we are looking for here. All right. So still don't have the two red candles, guys. I'm just waiting for that to happen. Once we get those two red candles there, be looking for the possible entry. Gian, it's going to line up with your entry too. So we'll probably see it because it's breaking your higher high right here. So it broke your higher high right here. And now it's, yeah, both of our entries are going to line up on the same candle. So if this candle here closes red, we got one red candle looking for the second one. One more red candle to confirm the possible, I wouldn't necessarily say reversal, but at least, a decent push in that direction. This candle's kind of hectic. The way it's moving. It's got to make sure there's no sell signal there. And this candle's coming down super hard. So it just keeps pulling back to opening price, as you guys can see. Got to make sure there's no sell signal there. Got 18 seconds left on it. Fuck, there's a sell signal there. All right, so we'll see how this ends up going from here. Sell signal might disappear at the last second. Let's see, so that one has a sell signal right there. I was hoping it would disappear. Actually didn't. I took it anyways, Gian. That entry just lined up perfect. That was a FOMO move. I shouldn't have taken it, but I took it anyways. It lined up with both of our strategies, so I took it anyways. So guys, don't ever do that. That was a bad example, but so me and Gian are testing. They're two separate strategies, but they happen between 6:30 and 7. We're both testing at the same time, so we don't waste time here because we want to make sure that this this strategy is good for the fall. So if this is the case and this strategy ends up playing out like mine works and then Gian works, we'll have two strategies that are kind of similar, but they're just different entry points that we can be trading between 6:30 and 7. And then after that, we'll be looking for our momentum pullback scalp, because typically that strategy isn't supposed to be applied until later anyways. So I'm kind of creating these time-based strategies where you can only take them within a certain time period. Kenny's asking if you're testing on a demo account. No, I never test a demo account. This is like on all my copiers. So I'm trading this on my real accounts. I kind of like living on the edge sometimes with my accounts here. So what happened over here with my FTMO? Okay, for some reason, one of my FTMOs didn't take the trade. I'm looking at my copier. There's a lot of slippage though, a ton of slippage here. You guys will see. I'll take a screenshot of my profits. All of my accounts here. Let me check for some reason, my FTMO didn't take it. My second one, all my other FTMOs took it. Not executed. Why? I don't know what happened, but that's weird. Okay, so I'll take a screenshot of my profits, guys. So the entry that I took was right here. Again, this is a bad entry. Shouldn't have taken this entry here, but I took it because it lined up with both my entry and Gion's. If it was just mine, I wouldn't have taken it. But typically this here shouldn't be, there shouldn't be a sell signal there. Because if you do that, the trend is shifting already, right? You're trying to capture the trend shift before it actually happens. And the reason why I do that is because if we have two red candles and the next candle here is a sell signal, it's going to blast right through my TP. It's kind of similar to, a V1 variation. I'm looking to catch that move, and then I want the momentum to push to my TP. So basically the strategy here, I was looking for a buy signal. So market open here at 6:30, there was a buy signal here. I was looking for two red candles. So buy signal, two red candles, I entered the sell right there, and then it went straight to my TP. Typically, you wouldn't take it if there's a momentum there because this kind of invalidates the entry here. Price can easily reverse the other way because in that situation, you'll be looking for a possible, buy. So for this situation here, there's a red sell signal. If I would get two green candles and I'd take the buy instead, right? So, Yeah, Gian said he thinks he's done for the day, one and done. Again, guys, I'm not going to explain this too much because it's still in the testing phase. I'm going to be testing this on all of my live accounts. I don't trade demo ever. So all my accounts, it's sink or swim for me. So I got to make this work. And that's how you guys know that I trust what I'm doing, because I wouldn't be testing out some random strategy if I didn't know that it worked, right? I've done the testing. You guys, I have my spreadsheet right here. So these are the entries from this month, because I can only go back so far. I had 10 wins. Yesterday was a win as well. So 11 wins and 1 loss. So it's about 91% win rate. I knew this strategy was going to work. So pretty much played through with it. But again, guys, I'm not going to really go in detail with this until I've finalized the strategy. But I'll be testing it. So I have to explain it to you guys because I'm taking the entry. I was going to try to just do it in the background, but it's going to be impossible for me to take this trade and not tell you guys what I'm doing, right? Because you guys are going to see me making all these profits on the side. So I'll tell you guys when the entries are coming, but they're not going to be considered official entries until it's an official strategy. So let me take a screenshot of my profits. If you guys have profit to share, feel free to post them up. Liquidity over here hasn't gone hit yet. The closest level of liquidity is going to be down below right here. This is going to be the first level if you guys do decide to take it. I'm probably not going to take it, but if you guys want to take it, I'll mark it up for you guys right there. I'm going to be waiting for my momentum pullback scalp. And we also have news at 6:45, so you might want to be a little careful with entries right now. I probably would just hold off. News at 6:45 is high impact news. Don't mess with the S&P Global Manufacturing PMI. I wouldn't try to trade that. So we'll see. It'll probably blast right through it. If you guys are taking this, it's probably going to come out around news time and it's going to shoot right through. In my opinion, that's probably what's going to happen. Let's see what the consensus is. So for the news over here, yeah, they're forecasting it to be negative. So it's 49 last month. They're forecasting it to be 47. So I'm expecting, I'm expecting to shoot right through. But we will see. Hey, CJ, morning. You didn't really miss too much. I took the entry that we take between 6:30 and 7. I'm going to call it the momentum counter scalp. I just took that. It also lined up with Gion's. Gian doesn't have a name for his yet, and we're not going to disclose his at all because he's just working on it by himself. He kind of wants to prove it to himself that it works first before he shares any details. I know what he's doing, but I'm only going to be sharing what I'm doing. Confused. Sorry, I'm trying to log into my social trader tools and it's not letting me. I wanted to take a screenshot of my profits. All right, sorry guys. Let's go back over here. All right, so we have actually we're not, there's news right now. We have a possible momentum scalp that's setting up right here, but not one I would take. I'll mark it up for you guys if it comes up, but yeah, it's probably not going to play through. So price is pulling up right here. Technically, the momentum pullback scalp would happen. Oh, you have to wait for that buy signal, but it's probably going to, the setup is technically going to happen right here, but we have news coming up at 6:45, so I wouldn't really mess with it personally. KodiKaiTrades.com. So there's no entry here, guys. There's a buy signal. So no entry came up. News candle is coming up in about a minute, so I probably hold off. 1 second, guys. Sorry. I'm trying to log into my social trader tools, but Still got the wrong password, which I'm pretty sure I got the right password. It's kind of tripping me out a little bit. Yeah, it's weird. Password trying. Oh, what's up with this, guys? Okay, I'll just have to take a screenshot on my computer. I typically don't take screenshots on my computer because it's kind of blurry, but for whatever reason, it's not working on my phone. I just logged in on my computer. Let's do it again, social trader tools. There's been a lot of issues with a lot of these different trading platforms lately. Just kind of annoying. All right, so we don't really have too much of a crazy movement there for news. Okay, never mind. Social trader tool is working. It's my phone that was tripping. All right, so we got news right here. I'm gonna go and mark that up. To clean this up right here. All right, so looking at current price right now, guys, we're looking for a momentum pullback scalp. I already took my entry for the 6:30 to 7 time period. We're looking for a momentum pullback scalp. So what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for a sell signal to come up. Then I'm looking for price to push down a little bit, retrace, and continue down lower. The trend right now is currently bearish. You can see the pivots are angling down, prices below the pivots, red pivots above all of them. Trend meter is red. So we're looking for a sell here. We would need a sell signal to confirm the momentum. So basically, I need a sell signal here. I need price to push down, retrace, and continue down lower from that point. Once I get that, I'll be looking for an entry at some point, wherever it may be. But we don't have that sell signal yet. So that's going to be the main thing that we're looking for. Once we get the sell signal, we can start looking for a sell. Right now, there's currently a bullish momentum, but there's no buy here because the trend is bearish. So as we wait for that, I'm going to go ahead and take a screenshot of my profits from that first trade. For some reason, my FTMO didn't copy. And I had to take my MFFs off my accounts. Unfortunately, guys, I know a lot of you guys have heard what happened to MFF. I don't really know what's going to happen with MFF. I think I'm going to think the worst and they're going to shut down because, and I'll tell you why, which I kind of saw this coming because you guys have seen I've been getting half profit for them for like over a year now. So they've been doing some behind the scenes shady stuff. I don't like upfront shady stuff because they're still paying out, but they've kind of been trying to cover their ass sometimes with their copier or with their trade and stuff. So I'm gonna think the worst and think that MFF might shut down. The reason for that is because they're the only ones that kind of got frozen, right? So like with them being frozen right now, think about like all the people who are going to ask for a refund. Like for me, I have a payout that's pending. I was supposed to get the payout earlier this week, but I waited until today because I wanted to clear over the weekend, but unfortunately this happened yesterday. So with MFF, if a bunch of people ask for refunds, or a bunch of people charge back, they're going to be in so much debt with them because they're going to be shut down from September 1st until September 11, right? That's a long time. That's all like 2 weeks. So you think about it, if MFF is your main funding company and they owe you a payout and everybody wants to just get a refund and stuff, we just bought challenges because I can't even trade them. Like here, I'll show you my profits. So here are my profits. My first FTMO got 760, second FTMO 0. For whatever reason, it didn't copy. My third FTMO 510, FTMO number 4 710. This is my funded engineer. Tried another funding company. They gave me 382. This is my personal account on Hero FX that I'm testing out. And then here's TFF, gave me 465. So you guys can see there's three accounts that are missing on here, which are my MFFs because I can't trade them at all. So this is why I'm missing 3 accounts, because my MFF is not linked to my copy right now because I can't trade on them. The accounts are frozen. So yeah, I know a lot of you guys have been asking me about MFF. I think MFF will survive. Well, they'll probably still be around, but I think eventually if a bunch of people, like if people don't forgive them for being frozen and they just get refunds and stuff, they're going to be underwater for sure. If you think about it, they're like the second biggest prop firm out there. They claim to have like 60,000 funded traders. So, I mean, you think about that, right? Like you just do the basic math. If everybody asks for a refund, 60,000 people, and this is just funded traders. So it's more like in the 100,000 range, probably, you know, of their people who are doing challenges and stuff like that. So you think about, I'm going to go on the lower scale. So 60,000 times, how much is like a 100K account? It's probably like $1,000, right? So, or close to $1,000. We'll be modest. We'll say 800. So they owe everybody $800. That's a lot of money, right? That they're going to be owing. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they're definitely going to go under. They're gonna go under. And this is just 60,000 people who they claim that are funded. You think about like funded people plus people who are doing challenges. If everybody's like, I want a refund, or they charge back, these processors are not going to want to work with them, right? So I think MFF might be going under. It is what it is. I gave you guys a heads up from the beginning. I told you guys to stick with FTMO, but everybody was like, no, I want to do MFF, and there goes MFF. So sorry to say it, guys, but I told you so. Ben Hardwick said, but you milked them good for years. Yeah, exactly. They paid out, so they're cool. I have no ill will towards MFF. You know, like I told you guys before, I've been looking for different funding companies because I was trying to leave MFF since they've been giving me half profits for like over a year now. So I think FTMO will be fine. If you guys are with FTMO, there should be no issues because they're not located in the US or Canada. They're located in the Czech Republic, so they don't have any oversight. They don't have to join FINRA or do any of this stuff that they're making all these US-based companies do. Basically, all the North American companies. So if you guys are on FTMO, I think they're fine. There shouldn't be any problem. You know, business as usual with FTMO. But I need to find other funding companies to use because I think MFF will probably go under. I didn't think about it in this perspective, but Patricia messaged me this morning and she said, you know, they're probably going to go under. Thing is, Patricia has experience in the funding space, so she knows how this stuff works. And yeah, if you guys have an MFF, I'd probably go straight to FTMO now, guys. There's no point in waiting for your MFF to be lifted. I'm probably gonna ask for a refund too. Like to be honest, I'm leaving with something, right? They're not just gonna take my account and not give me something because they do owe me a payout. So you know, I'm going to find a way to get something from them. But yeah, I mean, if you guys are with MFF, you know, try to get your money as soon as possible. Like if you guys just bought an account, I would probably call your bank and just ask for the money back. Because once they become insolvent, you're not going to get any money back. Like if you guys remember Funding Talent, and I know we're going off topic, guys, but there's no entries here. So don't worry, you guys are not missing out on anything. We also have news at 7 o'clock. So we can kind of just talk right now. If you guys remember Funding Talent back then, Funding Talent is from Canada. That's where MFF is from, right? I was telling Patricia that it feels like MFF was basically Funding Talent. So Funding Talent went under, same thing happened. They got all these chargebacks and stuff and they owed all these people money. They ended up going bankrupt and they just kind of disappeared. As soon as they disappeared, MFF came out of nowhere. So I feel like somebody from Funding Talent kind of ran with the idea, and then they just rebranded the company. They rebranded the company as MFF, right? They're both from the same location. They're kind of doing a little bit of shady stuff, not super shady, but a little bit. Funding Talent is huge, just like MFF. And if you guys remember the lawsuit with Funding Talent, everyone was kind of hoping that things would kind of roll over and they just kind of disappeared. Nobody got their money. I think it's going to be the same thing with MFF. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens, guys. But just expect worse. So if you guys are using MFF and not using anything else, I'd probably just move over to FTMO for now. And then just got to take that loss. Let's see. Yeah, Natasha said once she builds up her personal account, she's going back to FTMO. Yeah, no, that's good. If you guys have seen Natasha, so Natasha's been part of the group. I'll put the spotlight on Natasha for today. Like, she's been killing it. So what happened with Natasha was like she wasn't doing so great on FTMO, but then she went and did her own personal account. So she has a smaller account here, and she's been very consistent. Like today, she made $19.41. That's good for a personal account. Every day she's been consistent. Yesterday she made $12.73. Day before that, she made $9.26. The problem with Natasha here is that she couldn't find consistency on FTMO. Whenever she traded other people's money, she didn't really care, right? So she was taking dumb trades, over leveraging, taking too big of a lot size, revenge trading, etc. Now that she's trading her own personal account, she's been consistent, like positive days almost like every single day. So nice work, Natasha. But yeah, if that's your problem, guys, maybe that might be the case. I never recommend doing this because for me, I'm already consistent, so it just wouldn't make sense for me to trade a smaller account. But yeah, if you guys have problems trading, challenges or even trading bigger accounts, just stick to a smaller account, make it realistic, put your own money in it so you guys actually care about your trades. And you should be able to find consistency eventually. So, all right, no entries here. We have news coming up at 7, guys. We got about 4 minutes till then. So there's not really much for us to take right now at the moment. But back to the prop firm talk. I think basically all the prop firms in the US are going to get affected. All the prop firms in the US, all the prop firms in Canada. MFF is just being set as the example. So they're kind of like, MFF is just taking the blows for everybody. While they figure out what's going to happen, but everybody's going to get affected. Another thing too, I don't know if you guys realize this, but US30 is not allowed in the US to be traded. You can trade YM, but brokers are not supposed to allow you to trade US30. You can't trade indices like how we're trading indices here. So yeah, they're called CFDs, like CSIC mentioned. You have to trade the actual futures. So I think a lot of the companies here in the US, I'm thinking like maybe E8 is one of them. What's another one? Gion also mentioned the funded trader. I haven't used these companies, but what a lot of people have mentioned is that their fees are super crazy, their spreads are crazy, like all that stuff. They're all going to get affected by this ruling with MFF. So I would just stick to FTMO, guys. If you guys have any doubt, just stick with FTMO. They've been around for like almost 20 years now. And they're not located in the US or Canada. So, at this point, hopefully you guys listen. But anyways, we're looking for a possible entry here. Now, the trend is starting to shift to the upside. We have a buy signal that's currently pending right now, but we have news over here at 7 o'clock. The news at 7 o'clock is high impact again. It's ISM manufacturing PMI. So you want to be careful with the entry there. Once the entry comes up or once the news passes, we'll see if we can find an entry. But right now, there's nothing for us to take at the moment. So I need to see what is going on with that FTMO account. Let's see. Oh, and then also, so one thing that FTMO is, so I talked to FTMO directly yesterday. I just wanted to clear things up. They're not accepting clients from Delaware, Louisiana, South Carolina, Montana, and Arkansas. So everybody else is fine, but they're not accepting new signups from these states. I don't know exactly why, but from what I heard is that people from those states have been scamming like crazy. I don't know for sure, but they've been scamming FTMO and they're losing money, so they don't want to accept any more clients from those states. So I mean, I don't know what the case may be, but they're not accepting people from those states. So if you're in those states, unfortunately, I don't know what to say, but I mean, I don't know anybody in here that's located in those states. I don't think anybody in our group is located in maybe Louisiana, maybe South Carolina, but I don't think anybody here is from Delaware, Montana, or Arkansas. So, yeah. All right. Anyways, we have the news candle right here. That's enough prop for talk for today. Let's look for this entry now. So, okay, look at this big spike to the downside. Let's check the news real quick. So this is crazy because the PMI right here, let me just refresh it. The news is actually very positive and the market is just being manipulated. So you can see the news over here at 7 o'clock, it was all positive. Oops, wrong button there. So all positive news right here at 7 o'clock, the price is spiking down. So what I would look for here is I'd look for the swing back to the upside. I think price is probably going to swing all the way back up. So yeah, I think this here is a manipulated drop. And I think this is going to swing right back up because the news here is all positive. So just look for or anticipate the push back up. When price swings back up, I think target price point will probably be opening price right there. Right. So we will we'll see. Okay, I can see what happened here. So I think if we get 2 green candles here, following my analysis from earlier this morning, it's probably going to swing back up. So I think this will probably come up. I don't recommend anybody take it, but I think this will probably swing back up. If this candle closes green, I think it'll probably push up to like maybe opening price. Possibly. But I think it'll push up at least, you know, X amount of points. So there's no trend here. You can see prices in between the pivots. So there's no momentum pullback scalp that we can take just yet. We need price to kind of push away from where it's currently at right now. It's kind of a mess right now at the moment. So I need price to push out of this area, you know, either push the upside, push the downside, doesn't really matter, but it needs to push somewhere. So I think if this candle here closes green, it'll probably continue pushing up at least a little bit to, you know, some extent there. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, there's no entries for us right now. We gotta wait for something here to, or something here to play through. Well, we're just watching as price continues to move around here. So I need price to push out of this area. We need price to push up, push down, doesn't matter where, preferably up. Yeah, preferably up. Let me check where the, yeah, because the sentiment here is also bullish. So sentiment's currently at, let's see, 64% short. So this indicates that 64% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So you typically want to do the opposite and buy. The reason why I think price is probably going to push up too is because of the news. News over here is positive, so I'm expecting price to correct back up. You know, there's that big sell signal earlier. So I'm expecting price to probably make a correction to the upside. But who knows? There's not really much here to look at the moment. Volatility is kind of flattened out a bit right here. I'm expecting a buy signal to come up. If a buy signal comes up, it's probably going to push up to the opening price right there. This price continues to climb up, and I actually took the trade there. So I took the trade off my analysis. If you guys listen to my analysis, I said if there was 2 green candles right here, price is probably going to push up. I typically don't take speculative moves like this, guys, but it was just too good to pass up. So I took the entry right here for 100 pips. Hit my TP right now, full TP. Locking 1,100. I'm going to take the other FTM off my account. The reason why I'm not getting the trades aren't executing is because I just realized that I requested payout on that account. So I'm going to take that account off right now. And now that, so what I might do here is I'm probably going to, I'm probably just going to merge my FTMO. So eventually I'm going to merge them back to like maybe 200Ks or even, 400K. The reason why I split up my FTMOs was because of MFF, but now since MFF's out of the picture, for now at least, I'm probably just going to take them off. So again, guys, the reason why I took the trade there is because there was just a lot of confluences in this area. We haven't had an official trade yet, though. We had the trade earlier here for the momentum counter scalp, but there's no momentum pullback scalp yet. So the reason why I took this trade is because we had the sell momentum. We had 2 green candles right here. I was looking for the correction. So I was looking for price to fill this big red candle right here. This was a manipulated candle off news. And the reason why I knew price was going to push up again was because news here was positive. I mentioned to you guys, like, look for that push to the upside. It's probably going to push back up and fill that candle, which it did right here. And then also sentiment here was 64% short. So there's just a lot of things pointing towards a buy. I think the futures or the fundamentals here are also bullish. Everything was bullish. So we have a bullish bias. Fundamentals are up 174 points. Retail sentiment was 64% short. Technicals here are also bullish. So there's just, there's a lot of reasons here to take a buy. So that's why I took it. I typically don't take speculative moves like that, but it wasn't really speculative because there was a strategy behind it. But yeah, I typically don't take trades like that, especially if there's no confirmation or there's no specific entry that I'm looking for, like a momentum pullback scalp. But there goes my explanation there. If you guys are wondering, why I took this other trade, I'll take a screenshot of my profit so that you guys can see. I just updated my copier over here. I had to take that other account off. FTMO's gave me a new login for my account. Sometimes FTMO does that. So if you guys have been funded with FTMO, sometimes they'll give you a brand new account login. They just switch you over between servers because they have like a couple servers. So I just messaged them right now. I was like, how come my trades aren't executing? They're like, oh, your payout's being processed. So one of my FTMO is being processed. And you guys will see here on my screenshot. So I basically took off 3 accounts, 3 MFF accounts, and then 1 FTMO because payouts being processed right now. Let me just take a screenshot of my profit so far. Still no official entries, so don't worry if you guys haven't taken anything yet. I mean, some of you guys did, so it looks like a lot of you guys are taking trades off my analysis. But if you guys haven't, it's completely fine. All right, so here is my profit so far. I got 1,920 on my first FTMO, 1,670 on my second FTMO, 1,870 on my third FTMO, 1,140 on this other profit I'm doing. It's called Funded Engineer. I don't recommend it to anybody until I'm funded and I get payouts. And then TFF down here, I made 1,530. So decent profit so far. I'm missing 1 FTMO, and then I'm missing 3 MFFs, of course. And then this small profit right here is from my personal account. My Hero FX account that I'm also testing out. I'm testing out a bunch of different accounts because I'm just trying to diversify myself across different accounts here. I mean, FTMO is pretty solid, so I have no problem with them. But I got to find alternatives. I'm just adding. So at this point now, if you guys have seen, I'm more focused on trading. I'm not necessarily focused on teaching very much. I still teach during the mentoring sessions each week, but I don't necessarily do any more one-on-one teaching or one-on-one mentoring with people anymore because I just, I sometimes you get tired of teaching and you'd rather I make a lot more profit from just trading anyways. I don't even promote the group anymore. So for you guys who are here, we're gonna have a pretty good end of year because I'm gonna be mainly focused on trading. So if you guys are just on live sessions, whatever trades I'm kind of telling you guys and I'm giving you guys analysis for, they're probably gonna hit. That's just my main focus right now. So Maddie said he thinks it might want to take the top out of top side liquidity later. So yeah, there's liquidity sitting up there right now. There is liquidity that is sitting up there. It's kind of far, but it's not super far. Let's see. Yeah, it's about 1,000 pips away. So it's a bit of a distance. Oh yeah, guys. Okay, so sorry. I just looked on the YouTube right now. I saw these messages here. So Anderson is asking about MFF. Oh yeah, you probably heard what I just said earlier. They're probably gonna be toast, just like you said. Yeah, Anderson said, I think they're toast. People won't want to trust them again. I agree. It's the same with funding talent. Anderson's or Visual said end of an era for prop firms. I don't think it's an end of an era. I think a lot of prop firms are going to fall off, but I think the prop firms will stay, like the ones that have been around through all of the turmoil. So FTMO has been around through everything, through all of the issues that happened over the years. I think they're strong. They're going to be standing forever, not forever, but for as long as they need to. But I think a lot of these other like smaller prop firms are probably going to fall off because there's going to be a lot of regulation. So, I mean, make the money while you can, guys, with a lot of these prop firms. But I think it'll be a good thing, guys. I think the regulation is going to be a good thing for us because it's going to force these prop firms not to do shady business, right? So, all right, we have a possible entry right here for the momentum pullback scalp. So we got a buy signal right here, price pushed up. The closest entry that I'll look for would be this level right here at the 90 mark. So if this is the case and price pulls back right here, there's not going to be any entry for us to take. I need price to push up a bit higher. So I need price to push up a bit higher, retrace and continue from there. Right here is too low because the momentum signal is at this point. I won't take anything below this point. This is as low as I'll go. From this point right here. I need price to push up a little bit higher like it's pushing right now. Yeah, that's fine. Price can keep pushing up from where it's currently at. That's fine. That's exactly what I wanted. So I need price to push it up. Well, I mean, it's good at where it's at right now. But now we're looking for the red candle. We're looking for that red candle as retracement. And then when it retraces down, we'll look for possible entry. We should be at the 90 right here. I'm probably only going to take it on my top step though. The right account. All right, so I got my top step or my TradeObate logged in. There's no red candle there yet, so there's still no opportunity for entry at the moment. But this would be the entry right here. So we're looking for a red candle to close. It needs to close above this black line. If it closes below, no entry. But if it closes above the black line, the pending entry would be right here at the 90 mark. So we have a buy signal right here, bullish trend. Thanks, Kenny. Kenny said there's news right now as well. Let me check the calendar real quick. It's just light news, but let's see where it's at. Yeah, so we got Ward's total vehicle sales. I think that'll be fine. It's not going to affect it too much. All right, so if this red candle here closes below this black line, there's not going to be an entry for us, guys. This red candle needs to close above the black line in order for us to get a momentum pullback scalp. So it's not looking like we're going to get an entry here. Unfortunately, yeah, it's dropping a little too heavy. Yep. Unfortunately, no entry there, guys. So no momentum pullback scalp here. We're going to have to look for price to push back up. So hasn't been used yet, the momentum. We're still on the same momentum right here. If we get a sell signal, that's fine. We'll look for the next buy signal. But right now, there's just nothing for us to take at the moment. Let's see, Byron's asking, sorry, I didn't hear what you said about the news at 6:45. Yeah, Byron. So basically what you should look for is all US news. So if you ever go to MyFX book or Forex Factory, I mean, any US news is going to affect US30 because US30 is based off all the top 30 US stocks. So if anything's happening, you know, one of those stocks are tied to the news. So if you look over here at MyFX book, just look at like any US news, right? If any US news here, so this morning was NFP at 5:30, obviously that affected news. You can see right here at 5:30, all these news events came out, right? So you can see over here NFP at 5:30, there's a big spike. So let me just go over here and I'll show you because it's pretty obvious, like when the news happens. So like, for example, right here, 5:30 NFP, see that huge crazy candle right there? It's based off news, right? Same with the other news event that you mentioned as well, 6:45, which was right there. So you guys can see like the reaction to news. So news happened right here at 6:45. So if you ever want to study news, just go to whatever the news event was at 6:45 and then see how the candles react right after. So you can see the news was positive, but price came down. So we had some manipulation right there. And then price started to swing right back up. And then we have more news right here at 7 o'clock with this big red candle. So yeah, basically any US news will affect US30 because US30 is the top 30 stocks in the US and everything is tied to one of those stocks. So let me see, the news that came out at 6:45 was it was PMI, S&P Global Manufacturing PMI. So PMI is basically inflation news. Inflation is directly correlated with the stock market. So that's why it was affected. Let's see. David is asking, hey, Sean, what's up? How are you feeling after MFF news? Just got funded 100K on TFT, praying everything stays clear. TFT is for sure going to get regulated. And anything in the US or Canada is going to get regulated, guys. They all have to join FINRA. I've never used TFT, so I don't know if they're if there's anything shady about them, are the spreads too wide, are the fees too high? I think one of the red flags is that people trade US30 on them. You can't trade CFDs in the US technically. That's why a lot of these if you ever want to trade US30, you typically have to trade with some country with some broker that's located in Madagascar or something, right? Or in Jamaica or something, right? It's got to be somewhere where it's not in the US. So TFT is definitely going to get affected. I don't know if they're probably not going to get affected they're not going to get affected like MFF, but everybody's going to get affected. So TFT is located in the US, ACAP. Top Step is fine because they trade futures. They don't trade US30, we trade YM. That's the asset that we're trading here. Basically, any of the futures brokers are fine because you can trade futures in the US. You just can't trade indices. You can't trade CFDs. So you can't trade US30. You can't trade NASDAQ 100. You can't trade S&P 500. You got to trade the future. You can trade ES. You can trade NQ. You can trade YM. But you can't trade the, technically you're not supposed to. Yeah, exactly. Rashida said, so Top Step is good because we trade YM. Yeah. And the people who run Top Step, they're actual traders. They were on the trading floor So they're familiar with, the requirements. A lot of these prop firms that came out of nowhere, they don't have experience, they don't have backgrounds in trading, right? They just they saw this as a quick cash grab. I mean, if you guys have seen the CEO of TFT, he's just a regular guy, right? He's not part of Wall Street. He's never been part of Wall Street. I don't believe so. So a lot of these smaller companies, they're all going to get affected. And one thing too that Patricia mentioned is that MFF kind of screwed up by not filing the proper paperwork. So that's why they kind of got flagged. So they didn't file the proper paperwork, and that's why everything led to MFF, because if they just filed the paperwork properly, they probably wouldn't have been the main target. But them being one of the biggest prop firms, they're just making an example of MFF basically, because they're not too big to fall. Basically, though, is what the regulators are making it seem like. So we'll see. Yeah, C6 said so basically any of the US companies that are using ACAP, they're probably going to get affected, and that's pretty much every company in the US. Majority of them are using ACAP, because ACAP so ACAP is okay to trade US30, but you just can't be in the US. Soothing is asking, what is YM? YM it's the Dow Jones future. So US30, so the reason why people can't trade US30 and stuff like that is because US30 is like a made up asset. The real asset is YM. So YM is the Dow Jones future. US30 just mirrors it. So US30 copies what YM does. That's why it's a little behind. So if you ever look at the data, YM is always going to be ahead a little bit, because this is the actual raw data. You can see that I'm pulling this data from the Chicago Board of Trade, like the actual exchange. This isn't from a broker. The brokers pull data from the exchange, and for us, we're pulling data directly from the exchange, so we don't have any middleman there. The reason why they do that is because they don't want price to be manipulated, right? Like if you get data from a broker can manipulate the data. They can set the prices. That's why if you look at US30, pricing is way different compared to YM here. So for example, price right now is currently at 34,980. If you look at FTMO right now, it's currently at 34,942. So it's a big difference. Basically, FTMO just set their own pricing. Movement's the same, but the pricing is way different. That's how they make money off the spread. There goes your history lesson for today, guys, regarding the markets. But yeah, this is kind of why I was making the move towards Top Step, because I had a feeling something like this was going to happen with a lot of these bigger companies. Not necessarily FTMO, because they're not in the US, but anything based in the US. The government's going to have to stick their hands somewhere, right? They see all these funding companies making all this money. The government's like, all right, I'm going to dip into this company and pull some money from there. It's capitalism. So it was bound to happen. If there's any sector that's making a lot of money, it's going to get regulated at some point. I think the main problem was that a lot of these other companies were bringing a bad light on the prop firms. So I don't think MFF necessarily did anything super bad, because they were still paying out. They were consistent. They were fine. It was a lot of these smaller companies that were doing shady business, right? These companies that were just not paying out. They would basically steal from people, right? People would pay for challenges. They get funded. They don't pay them out. They just make up excuses to not pay people out. And those are the companies that kind of brought a bad light on these funding companies. So I don't think MFF necessarily did anything bad. They're just the target for this whole investigation. All right, so there's still no entries for us here, guys. I know we went off topic a lot today. Sorry, guys, if you guys didn't want to hear all this, sorry, but there's just nothing for us to take here. Price is going sideways. We're still looking for that buy entry. So the buy entry right here never came up for the momentum pullback scalp. So if price pushes up and there's no sell signal, so say for example, the sell signal doesn't come up and price pushes right back up and pushes up like that, we can still take entry. But if a sell signal closes like it did here, we now have to wait for either another buy signal or we have to wait for the trend to shift to the downside. If trend shifts to the downside, that's fine. We can look for sells. But if it doesn't, then we're gonna have to look for price to push up, right? We're gonna look for a buy signal, but there just hasn't been any entries here. Price is still going sideways for a bit. Let's take a look at everybody's profit. So I haven't even looked at everybody's profit so far. We got Kenny over here, total profit of 1,320 for the day. Nice work, Kenny. So great profits right there. Let's see what else we've got over here. Let's post these up real quick. All right, we got Kenny over here, 1,320 for the day. We got Delicia over here, total profit of 370 for the day. Nice work, Delicia. Nice, solid profits. It looks like a lot of you guys here are taking trades just based off my analysis. There hasn't really been any official trades so far because there just hasn't been any setups. There's entries here that I'm basically, giving you guys a heads up for, but there's no official entries. So there was no momentum pullback scalp. That's like the main entry we're looking for here. I mean, price is just going sideways at this moment. I'll go here to the clean chart. I'll mark up structure so that you guys can see. So the structure, there was structure up there. Structure right there. So what I'm doing here is I'm just marking up structure at the higher highs and the lower lows so that you guys can see how price is moving and how it was moving. All right, so as you guys can see right here, the market's pretty messy. There's volatility, but it's not really moving very directional. It's kind of just bouncing back and forth a lot. So right now, price is currently faked out within this area, and now it's within these two ranges right here. So we'll see how this ends up playing through, but right now there's just not really too much going on. As you can see, price is kind of just sitting right here at the support. It keeps getting pulled back to the opening price. You can see how the opening price is acting as a magnet. Price pushes away, comes back to opening price, pushes away, comes back to opening price, pushes away, goes back to opening price, pushes away, back to opening price, right? So, I mean, we're pretty much just waiting for price to push away from opening price, whether it be up or whether it be down. But there's just not too much here for us to really take. So it's 7:30 right now. We still got 30 minutes till 8. We still have some time here. The volatility is starting to die down quite a bit. ETR is currently at 18. Earlier it was at 24, just like about like 10 minutes ago. Now it's down to 18. I'm hoping the volatility picks back up. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit tough for us to look for any, possible entries here. Let's take a look at sentiment. Sentiment is still 64%. So, I mean, you might want to look for a swing back to the upside. So sentiment is there. Fundamentals are still bullish, very bullish, actually. They're up 200 points. So fundamentals are up. Retail sentiment is bullish. Technicals are bullish. Price is probably going to swing back up eventually. It's going to take some time, but I do think it's going to push back up at some point. So again, like I looked at earlier, guys, so I mentioned like, if you see two green candles here, it's probably going to push up. It might not like blast like up super heavy, but it's probably going to prepare for some sort of buy signal. But the volatility is dying down like, quite a bit. Yeah, so Barty said FYI candles, which are higher high or low or high low, are manipulated on FX brokers, but on YM candles, it's different. Huge game changer. Yeah, these cameras. Yeah, exactly, Barty. Yeah, that's why I like using YM. Like you have to pay for this data, but I'd rather pay the $4 a month or whatever it may be. If you're not considered a professional trader, it's like $4 a month. But if you're considered a professional trader, I think it's like $250 or $100 a month or something like that to get data to YM. But you guys will see that this data here is the raw data. So the higher highs are usually pretty accurate. All my momentum signals are also accurate. Everything's pretty accurate here because we're getting the data directly from the exchange. There's not really too much manipulation happening here. This is just how the market's moving. Soothing is asking, what's your take on Funded Next and Pro Traders prop firm? I've never heard of any of those, so I have no opinion on either of those. Soothing, I would recommend, if you guys have not maxed out your FTMO accounts, don't even bother like looking at anything else. The only two that I can really recommend would be FTMO and Top Step. If you want to trade directly on, or I mean, you can't even do that anymore. If you want to trade a futures broker, I would do Top Step. If you want to trade on MT4, I would use FTMO. Those are the only two that I'll recommend. I've never recommended MFF, and you guys will see, and you guys see now why I've never recommended MFF. I had a feeling something was going to happen eventually. That's why I never recommended that you guys start an MFF account. I've always recommended FTMO. But some people just got to learn the hard way. Like I can give you guys all the advice here, but it just depends on like what you do with it, right? I can tell you to take FTMO, but it doesn't necessarily mean people will actually go through with it. Yeah, exactly. Kenny said FTMO is by far the best from what he's researched. Yeah, and I agree too. That's why that's the only company I'll recommend. So yes, unfortunately, Soothing, I've never heard of those companies. I'll probably never recommend any other companies unless like I really find one that's good. I'm using a couple other shady companies right now, like, well, Funded Engineer, I don't know if they're shady, but they're new. I'm testing them out. Only because Patricia gave me, the thumbs up on them. So I'm trying them out. If they're good, I'll let you guys know. And I'm also trying out TFF again. Hopefully this time around it works out well for me. But Kip and Casey kind of gave me the thumbs up on that. So I'm just at a point where I'm adding more funny companies to my copier. Let me see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. Randy said you might want to keep 100K accounts if you want to slowly scale up the account since well, I think my doubts for MFF are probably going to be, I'm already expecting them to go under. So I'm focusing on FTMO. So I'm probably going to merge them. If anything, I'll merge them to 200Ks rather than one big 400K because it messes with my mindset. If you guys remember before, I had a 400K FTMO account and the profits were like, they're kind of like mind blowing because I'm used to making like 1,000 per account. And when they're like a 400K account, they're all on one trade. So I take a big lot size and then I end up making like 4,000 on one trade, which I'm not really, I'm not used to. So my trade psychology is going to have to slowly build up. So I'll probably have to change to 200K accounts first, and then eventually maybe I'll go up to 400K. Because then at that point I can scale the 400K account higher. I just need to be consistent, get a couple of payouts, and then they'll scale the account up. C6 said, is it even possible to log into MFF? No, it's not. And so if you guys try to go on the MFF website, the website's not even working. So this is what the website looks like. Like you can't even go in and request a payout or anything. And the thing is, like with MFF, I don't even think I can get money back because I mean, the money that you guys can get back from MFF, if you guys just got a new account, you can probably call your bank and just tell them like you want your money back, that they like they committed some sort of fraud or whatever. I can't even do that because I haven't gotten a new account with MFF for like, it's been so long. So the bank's going to be like, oh, you want your money back, but why are you asking for your money back now? It's been like a year, right? So I don't even think I can get any of that stuff back. Actually, I can't get it back because I got funded and they paid me back already. So I already got the money back from the challenge. There's nothing for me to get back. So unfortunately, my payout's just kind of screwed. Yeah, that sucks. I'm just thinking about the payout that they owed me because I made a lot of profit on those accounts. What did I make? So I think I posted like my weekly profits. That was kind of what I was owed. Damn, yeah. So like these are my MFF accounts right here. So 3,000. So I basically lost, I guess not that much. So 1870 times 3. How much profit did I lose on that? 1870 times 3, 5,000, and then the split was 80. So I basically lost 4,000 from them. That's not a big deal. 4,000 is like whatever. If it was like over 10, I'd be kind of annoyed, but 4,000 is whatever. That's like 1 day of trading. So Daniel said they probably owe you a Honda Civic, right? Probably. I mean, yeah, once you get to a level where you get like consistent payouts and you make certain money from trading, you know, the 4,000 doesn't seem like a big deal. That's just like it's basically like a punch to the to the stomach, basically. But I've gotten it. They paid me out more than this, so I've made my money. But I made my money's worth with MFF, so I can't really complain. Again, like I mentioned before, guys, I don't have any ill will towards MFF. They were good to me. Aside from like giving me half profits for like the past year, they still paid out, so they were okay company. I mean, it is what it is. It's got to take your, your losses and move on with it. Yeah, Natasha said, man, so all those people just lost their money. So I don't necessarily think it's, I mean, we'll see what happens. So on the MFF website, they said that their court date is for September 11th, but that's in 2 weeks. That's a long time for, at that point, I think a lot of people are going to start to charge back, or they're going to report fraud and stuff. So, I mean, they might go under before that point. So I don't think everybody lost their money, but I like for them to pay all those people out, they claim to have 60,000 funded traders. So you think about it, like if this is how much profit they owe me, like think about one person. I mean, we did the math earlier, like 60,000 people, right? And say everybody, like out of these 60,000 people, at least maybe say everybody is owed 500 in payouts, right? That's a fair number. So if that's the case, they owe about 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. They have about 30 million out to people. So you think about it, these funding companies don't have like 100 million just sitting there, right? So yeah, that's why I'm expecting them to go under. Because even if they have to pay out like X amount of people, like say it's not even 60,000 people, say it's like, say they got 10,000 people. It may, sometimes these funding companies, they just say they have like 60,000 funded traders, but realistically they have like only a few. Say they have 10,000 funded traders, and say each person is owed 1,000. That's still a lot. That's 10 million. So they're going to be owing people in the million range, and depending on how much capital they have, which I don't think they have that much capital. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. They're the second biggest prop firm, so they might have the capital. They might be able to pull the money somewhere, but I think at that point they're just going to go bankrupt. Like, you think about it, if you're a company and you owe these people X amount of money, but you don't really care about the people, I would just file for bankruptcy at that point instead of getting a loan and then paying all these people off and trying to survive. They'll probably just file for bankruptcy, and then they'll end up rebranding as some other company. Yeah, it's crazy. There's just going to be different paths for that, but if they do file for bankruptcy, nobody's going to get their money, obviously. All right, so there's still no entries here, guys. Unfortunately, it's market kind of died down a bit. ATR is currently at 18,738 right now. We have about 12 minutes till, or 22 minutes till 8 o'clock. Yeah, there just hasn't been too much movement. The trend here is starting to shift, but it hasn't shifted yet. So looking at the pivots over here, this red pivot needs to be above all the other pivots for it to be bearish. So if we get that, then we can maybe look for a sell at some point. But in other cases, price may climb from this point, and the shift, the trend will shift and it'll continue climbing up higher. Yeah, Samir's asking if that's a high level momentum scalp. That is a high level momentum scalp right there. Oh, actually, no, sorry, it's not. It's not a high low momentum scalp because the lower low right here already broke and closed past the pivots. So you can't have a candle breaking closing past the pivots. So the lower lows right here and it already broke past it. So this pretty much invalidates it as a high low momentum scalp. Natasha said done for the day. See you guys Tuesday. Oh yeah, guys. So just a heads up, Monday's Labor Day. The markets are technically closed, so we're not going to have a live session on that day. Yeah, thanks for the heads up, Natasha. I totally forgot Monday was a holiday. Yeah, so I'll see you back here on Tuesday. So I mean, if you guys want to hang out and wait for an entry, I'll be hanging out for a little bit longer, but just looking at how the market's currently moving at the moment, I don't know if we'll get anything here. The volatility is super low. Looking over here on the clean chart, you can see there's not really much of a direction. So market opened over here at 6:30. There was a lot of volatility here on open, and then now the market kind of died down a little bit. It looks like it's pulling back into this range. So price might just range within this area right here. We got about 20 minutes till 8. So, I mean, if we don't see anything in the next like 10 minutes or so, I'm not really expecting too much to happen here. I'm looking for a sell signal. So we do have a bearish bias now, or I mean, kind of. We have not a bearish bias, we have a bearish trend to some extent. The pivots here haven't shifted yet. So we need a sell signal and we need this red pivot to cross above the orange pivot. And then once we have that, we can maybe start looking for, you know, possible entry here for a sell. But right now, there's just nothing for us to take at the moment. So let's go down a little lower. A couple more profits here from Patricia. So Patricia locked in a total profit of 6,480 for the day. Nice work, Patricia. She's done. Let's see. We got Maddie over here. Maddie, no trades for the day. Solid, Maddie. You got to stay consistent. That's good there. We got Gian over here. He took that trade with me earlier this morning. Took a total profit of 1,060 for the day. Nice work, Gian. We got Andreas over here, total profit of 910 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Andreas. And then we got Natasha over here. Natasha just posted up her profits as well, total profit of 25.45 for the day. Nice work, Natasha, all wins. So yeah, Natasha said, I think it's a good place to stop. See you on Tuesday. Definitely, Natasha, we'll see you back here then. Let's see, Miles said, so Miles said, have you heard of this disappointing China news to sink markets? Essential news from Bank of Canada. Interest rates, China inflation due out. Slowdown in China is worrying traders across the globe. September is historically the worst performing month for the S&P. Should we expect the same? Yeah, so Miles just basically sent me some news about China. If you guys saw that big real estate deal that went on in China, like their biggest real estate, it's like the Everglades or whatever it's called. Like China's going into some crazy debt because of that. And Miles is asking if it's going to affect us personally. It'll be good for us because it's going to cause volatility in the market. It's not going to be good for long-term investors because their investments are going to be shot, right? Price is probably going to turn bearish. Things are going to start tumbling. So if you're holding on to stuff long-term, it's probably not going to be good for you. But for us personally, since we're scalping here during the day, I think it's going to be beneficial for us because volatility will pick up and it'll be pretty solid for, you know, the next couple months or so. So not really too much of an effect for us, but for other people, it might affect them if they're trading long-term. Here goes Steven. Steven like randomly pops into my DMs and asks me random questions. You guys remember Steven? He's asking if the SEC will go after FTMO. No, probably not. Probably not, because they are not located in the US or Canada. It's always good to hear from older people that we haven't seen in a while. We got, let's see, C6 said it looks like the movements are some sandpaper movement. Kip over here locked on a total profit of 4,030 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Kip. Solid profits right there. I'll come to your question a little bit, Sam. We have Anelli over here, total profit of 1,236 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Anelli. It's a great profits right there from Anelli. And then we have Rashida over here, total profit of 406 on her TradeOgate account. So nice work right there. And then her MT4 accounts, total profit of 1,230 for the day, all wins. So great work right there, guys. Looks like a lot of you guys here just took trades off my analysis. I mean, the analysis played out every entry I kind of showed to you guys here went to full TP. So if you guys take any of the entries, there were no official entries right now, but you guys take any of the entries that we kind of covered throughout the day, I mean, they all kind of played out perfect. So I'm going to go over here and I'm just going to take a screenshot of this here so that you guys can see the trade that I took earlier, because this is going to be one of the staples. So this is going to be something for you guys to look out for when we start making this an official entry. So I got to document it anyways, because I'm going to make a spreadsheet for this stuff. Well, let me just go over here real quick. So I just got to document these trades because I'm testing the strategy so that we have the data when it comes time for us to use it. So this is going to be 100 pips. And I think I called it momentum counter scalp. I think that sounds right. If you guys think that name's dumb, let me know. I'll probably change it up. But I think that name, I just want to make sure that the names they're not too similar, because the high low momentum scalps and then the momentum pullback scalps, those are different. So they're you don't really get them confused. With this one, it's the momentum counter scalp. Van Harwick said counter strike. Not counter strike, counter scalp. We're not playing Counter Strike right now. Yeah, momentum counter scalp. I'll think of different names. If that name doesn't sound right, we'll Daniel said boom headshot. Yeah, we'll kind of brainstorm some names if you guys don't like that name. Another thing too, guys, is I'm gonna try to create a Discord so like everything can be more organized. I know we're on Telegram right now and it's kind of confusing because a lot of stuff gets lost in the chat. So I'm in the process of putting together a Discord. It's just so everything can be more organized. I feel like right now, like I can close a couple of these groups. Like for example, the signals group, we don't really do signals, right? So we don't really need a signals channel anymore. So we're probably going to take this off, and then indices, it wouldn't really matter because we're not trading Forex anymore. We're just trading US30 mainly. So I'm probably going to close down a couple of these channels so that you guys aren't confused, because there's so many channels here and we don't really use all of them anymore. We mainly use the premium channels and then the announcements for the links and stuff. So I will try to get that done like in the next couple of weeks so that we just have everything organized. I'll have everything organized so that you guys can like have an area where you post your profits, and then it's not like mixed with our chat, and then an area where like, the results will be posted. And then I'll put spreadsheets up, because what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to journal every trade we take here in the live session. So I'll journal every trade. I'll create a spreadsheet so that we can see how our progress is throughout the year. So I'll create a spreadsheet, and then it's going to have a screenshot of the actual trade so that you guys can see it, explanations, any notes, so that in the future, everybody can go back and just say, okay, we took this trade. Why did we lose this trade? Or why did we win this trade? I'm just trying to make things as efficient as possible for all of you guys so that there's no confusion and everybody's able to profit, because, people are profiting here every day. So if you guys are not profiting in the group, you're probably not doing something right. Like everybody here is profiting every single day. We haven't gone one day in like maybe the past 3 or 5 years where not at least one person has profited. So if you guys are not profiting and you guys are not consistent, just reach out to me or reach out to anybody in the group and we can probably help you get better. Because I mean, there's probably something that we can do to help you. You just need to reach out and actually get that help. So a couple of things coming for us here. Anyways, there's no entries here yet, guys. We have price kind of pushing around. We have a sell signal here. Price is bearish. We have this push to the downside. This candle right here retraced, but it's too close to this momentum. So we still have opportunity right here. Price push down. We're looking for the retracement. Once we get the retracement over here, we can look for a possible sell. So we don't have that retracement yet. Closest entry would be right here at the 20 mark. Next closest would be here at the 10. And then Daniel also mentioned that there's lower liquidity down below as well. So let me get over here to my trade update. Right here at the 20. So 34,920. We are here at the 10 actually. So the entry would be right here at the 10 mark. The entry never got filled, but that's where the pending order would be at the 10. If you guys are looking to take this here. I don't like the volatility. I'm not going to take it. I'll follow it, but I'm not going to take it. I'm pretty satisfied with my profits for the day. Yeah, there's no need for me to force anything right now because we have like 10 minutes till 8. I'll follow it for you guys if you guys want to take it. I'm not in the position though, so I'll mark it up right here. If you guys want to take it, feel free. I was tempted to take it, but the volatility right here is just a little too low. So let's see if it filled yet. Still hasn't filled. Yeah, Randy said he's not taking it either. Van Hartwig said, I'm out. Enough trades. Wish you all a pretty nice weekend. Definitely, Van Hartwig. We'll see you back here on Tuesday. Yeah, Kevin over here as well. Kevin said, I just don't want to force anything. Have a good weekend. I'll probably see you tonight, Kevin. Are you going to the Beyonce concert? I'll probably see you tonight at the SoFi. Yeah, I'll see you at the concert. So I'll see you later tonight. Yeah, pregame, right? All right, Vince, we'll see you back here next week as well. Yeah, Randy said it already hit TP before filling the order. So if you guys take a position, it technically filled it right now and it's running in profit. I'm not in this position. I'm just following it here. I just didn't like the market movement. Volatility was too low. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes down and hits TP, but I'm not in the position, so I'm not invested in this trade right here. I'm kind of just watching it and seeing where it plays through. Let's see, CJ is asking for the momentum. So momentum counter scalp, CJ. I know you stated that if pending signal closes and it's not a good entry, but wouldn't it be a confluence because it would be going that direction already? So you're fine, CJ. I know there's no set name for it yet. So yeah, it would be a confluence, but it also could be a fake out, right? Because you'll see sometimes if you get a momentum signal, sometimes price just goes complete opposite. Like for example, here, see how the sell signal came up and it went complete opposite? That's the reason why you wouldn't want to take it. From my testing, so I have my data over here from like when I tested it. I think I have notes for it here too. Okay, so the trade hit TP, guys. If you guys took it, great. You can see here it still played out. The strategy is fine. It's just my trade psychology was off already. I didn't want to take a trade because I thought it was risky. But as I mentioned right here, I even drew the arrow. I said I wouldn't be surprised if it comes down and hits TP, right? And that's exactly what happened. So if you guys took a trade, great, hit full TP right there. I didn't take the trade, so obviously I'm not going to count it, but it did hit TP right there. So I'm just going to mark this up so that you guys, I'm going to try to, because I need to document these trades so that you guys are aware of the trades that are coming up, because I'm going to be documenting everything here. So yeah, this was for the momentum pullback scalp. There you go, guys. But yeah, like I was saying, CJ, it would work as a confluence, but like looking at my data over here, So there was a couple entries here. So it said momentum signal appeared on the second candle, it would have hit stop loss, right? So that's why I made it a criteria, because you can see over here again, another entry, momentum signal appeared on the second candle, would have hit stop loss. So there would have been 2 more losses here if I was applying that. So, for my data here, it's telling me that I should not take the entries on that second momentum. Today wasn't a good entry though. Like today I followed into that entry. It was like how I mentioned, you shouldn't be taking it. But there's some instances where it does work out. The reason why I took it was because so many other confluences pointed towards that direction. So we had news confluence, we had confluence with Gion's entry, we had confluence with bias and all that stuff. So that's the reason why I took it. But for the most part, it's not a good idea. It was more of a FOMO move on my part because I just really wanted to take a trade. You guys can see I still FOMO. It doesn't matter how long you've been trading for. FOMO still comes around, and it takes control of your ability to trade. So yeah, just from the data, that's why I'm skipping those types of trades, CJ. PC is asking, is it just one trade per momentum signal for the proposed counter momentum strategy? It's just the first momentum signal from 6:30 to 7. It's just one entry between that time. So not necessarily one per momentum signal, because you're only supposed to take one. It's a once a day strategy. So maybe I might have to change the name again. So I might call it something like, the thing is you can apply it throughout the day, but I don't personally recommend it, right? So I could show you other entries here. I mean, we already talked about this. Me and like the guys who put the strategy together and we're working on it, we already talked about it. We said, I'm telling everybody to trade between 6:30 and 7, but I know people are for sure going to keep trading this strategy. It's like you guys, like when people see that low dangling fruit, right? It's like putting candy in front of a kid's face. The strategy works great, but the problem with applying it throughout the day, while it works, you're going to have more losses. So the thing is, if you're taking every single trade, then it's going to be great. But you have to take every trade. And the problem with most people is that they're not going to take every trade, and it's not going to balance out. So I can show you other entries here. Like, so for example, I don't even think there's another setup here that came up at like, okay, so like say for example, right here, we had a buy signal, right? 2 red candles. It would have been a full TP, right? Same thing with the sell signal, right? Sell signal, 2 green candles, another full TP. So technically, yeah, you can do what you just mentioned, PC, but I don't recommend it. There's going to be a lot of entries that will come up, but if you don't take every single entry, you're going to be set back. It's still a negative risk to reward. So you want to focus mainly on like quality over quantity. But again, it's just up to preference. I already know people are still going to do it, even though I tell people not to, because the strategy is just too good. Like for example, here, sell signal right here, 2 green candles. It's just too good to pass up, right? So, I mean, if you guys want to play around with it, feel free. If you guys don't want to, and you just want to stay consistent, like for me personally, I'd rather have 1 or 2 entries and then just be done for the day. Versus being on the chart, because what happens is you start to get addicted. You start to see the entries come up super often, and then now you're on the chart for like 12 hours a day, taking every single entry, and it'll be good until it's not good. So yeah, I would just be careful with it. But let's see, another question over here from Siobhan. Siobhan's asking, what's the best strategy for trading throughout the day? I mean, they're all good throughout the day, Siobhan. You just got to figure out one that works for you. So just go to the course, figure out what strategy works for you. A lot of people like applying the high level momentum scalp. That's one of them. That was like one of our main strategies, and it works throughout the day. The only problem is like, if you're trading throughout the day, you got to make sure that you're trading when the volatility is high enough. So like you might want to use ATR down below. So we have this tool down here called the ATR. It shows you the average true range. So it shows you how price is moving the past 14 candles. You can see right here that it's set at 16. So the volatility here is like kind of slow. You want it to be above 15. So right now it's decent, but you can see over here when price was actually moving very volatile, it was like at 26. So you can apply any strategy here. You just got to make sure that there's volatility in the market. So you're not going to trade something like this, like Asia session where the market's super flat. But I mean, you can apply any strategy you like. It doesn't matter. You just got to figure out one that you like and then stick to it, because all the strategies work fine all throughout the day. But if you really want to look for one, I think one of the the really good strategies is going to be the momentum pullback scalp. So the same one that I told you about in the chat. So practice that. If you're good at identifying those entries, like this one right here is a momentum pullback scalp. You can basically apply this all day as long as the volatility is high enough, because this thing comes up pretty often. Yeah, Cameron said he doesn't miss those days being on the charts from 6:30 to 1. Yeah, those are like the worst, guys. It's not good for your health to be on the charts for like 12 hours a day. It's you're basically working a job at that point, right? The whole reason I started trading was so I don't have to work. I trade from 6:30 to 8, and then I go do whatever I want after this. And that's just the lifestyle that I want to live, right? I want to live a stress-free lifestyle. I want to do the least amount of work and make the most amount of money. That's really what I'm doing right here. I'm working for like about an hour and a half, trading with you guys. It's not even work. We're kind of just hanging out. And then we take trades when they come up. And then after 8 o'clock, I can kind of just live my life and do whatever I want to do. So it's just up to your guys' preference. If you guys want to trade all day, by all means, feel free to trade all day, but it's going to catch up to you, right? If you trade all day for like a couple of days, your mentality is not going to be there. Your trade psychology is going to wear off, and then you're just not going to be sharp. So, I mean, just try it, right? If you guys trade all day for like a whole week, I could almost guarantee by the next week, you're going to start losing a lot of trades because you're going to start making a lot of mistakes. So for me, I think you guys should stay fresh. If you guys want to trade all day, maybe stick to like 1 day a week or 2 days a week, all the entire New York session. But I think this works best for us. Is trading from 6:30 to 8. We have like a little bit of stress, a little bit of anxiety between 6:30 and 8, so we're looking for entries. But then after that, you can just do whatever you want. Yeah, exactly. CJ said work smart, not hard. I agree, 100%. Let's see. PC said just did a quick test for August 14 and 19 from 6:37. Only got 12-1 record, but I did multiple trades in that 30 minutes. Yeah, no, it's pretty solid. Yeah, so PC did multiple trades within that time period. Yeah, if you want to do multiple trades, feel free. It's up to you guys. I'm giving you guys the tools. You guys can do what you like with them. But yeah, no, PC did pretty good. Well, within a week's period, he took 12 trades, only 12 wins and 1 losses. So I think that's pretty solid for the most part. Here's Rashida. So Rashida just wrapped up the week. She locked a 730 on her Tradeovate account. So nice work right there, Rashida. All wins. And then her MT4, she locked in a total profit of 2,490 for the day. All wins as well. So great work right there, Rashida. We got Casey over here, total profit of 902 for the day. All wins. Nice work, Casey. Solid profits right there. Let's see. Sam's asking, can you explain if I go for one contract and aim for 100 points? All right. So Sam is asking me like how much a contract is worth. Yeah, because Sam's asking, how much is one contract worth? I have no idea. I'm using a 15 contract and I'm making 750 off 10 points. So I don't know how much it would be worth. And it's just too much math for me. I'm not good at math. So if you guys have any questions regarding like how much each contract is worth, or anything specific, just message Top Step, guys. You guys got to remember that like I'm not Top Step and I'm not FTMO. So if you guys have any questions regarding those things specifically, just reach out to Top Step or reach out to FTMO. Because even if I give you an answer, it might not be the right answer. So you're better off just going directly to the source and then asking them like, hey, how much is a contract worth? Because you don't want to hear answers from like anything other than the source. So if you guys have any specific questions for brokers or stuff like that, you should probably reach out to the proper source versus like someone kind of telling you and not really knowing. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to tell you something and then not know the answer to it. So yeah, the thing with YM2 is different. It's different per broker. Samir is asking a high level momentum scalp. I don't see any high level momentum scalp here, Samir. I don't see any. Yeah, there's no high level. Well, there's one right here actually. Yeah, you're right. So there's one right here that just came up, I think. Yeah, but everything here is bearish, so I wouldn't even take the high level. I mean, so the thing with the high level momentum scalp, guys, is that you don't have to use bias, but I mean, this is obviously a sell. I probably wouldn't take this here for sure. Like sometimes you just have to use like your common sense when you're looking at these entries. Like if I saw something like this, I'm definitely not taking, and it's after 8 o'clock too, like what Kevin said. So for one, it's after 8 o'clock. For two, it's pretty obvious here for a sell, so I probably wouldn't want to take it. You're basically counter trend trading at this point. The high level momentum scalp is good when price is kind of just going back and forth like this, right? Because you can take trades in both directions. But if price is like obviously going down, like the trend here is super strong, it just continues to go down, I wouldn't take a trade that's going opposite of it. So it's hard for me to explain it because like it should be common sense, but I know for a lot of beginner traders, it's not common sense to them because they think, oh, just because the requirements are met, they should take a trade. So yeah, for this here, it is the setup for a high level momentum scalp, but it's not one I would personally take. It's hard for me to, that's why I don't really work with beginner traders anymore, guys. If you guys have noticed, I don't really like teaching beginners because it's hard for me to like really explain to them. And there's no problem with you being a beginner. It's just hard for me to explain a lot of these little obvious things that we kind of look at. There's a lot of nuances here. Like for example, see how price is pushing up. I wouldn't take any sells here when price is obviously going super high like that. And I wouldn't take any buys with prices like going consistently down, right? If price is going sideways like this is what the strategy was meant for. The high level momentum scalp is meant for price movements that go sideways like this, not a directional push. Because if you're going directional, you're kind of counter trend trading at that point. Lara is asking, what time frame is your chart? The time frame is always in the middle. It says 1 right there. So it's the 1 minute time frame. We only trade on the 1 minute here on the live sessions. Let's see. Yeah, Siobhan said every time I see that kind of signal, I always think fake it. Fake it happens to me a lot. Yeah, if you're looking for something like that, it's like typically gonna be like a fake out. I mean, this will probably play out, like not to say that it's not gonna work, but because this will probably swing right back up and hit its TP, but it's not one that I would personally take. Like even like you guys know that I don't take every single entry. If the entry doesn't look good to me, I'm not gonna take it, even though it looks like, even though it's a solid entry and it lines up. If it doesn't look good to me and price is like obviously going in opposite direction, I would still not take it. In a lot of instances. Yeah, CJ said, yeah, 944 is technically a high level momentum, but I didn't take it because momentum candle was too big. Yeah, exactly. So like there's another one over here that CJ mentioned at 44. Yeah. Yeah, this one right here, right? So CJ also mentioned this right here. The candle was too big. That'd be considered a red flag. Like the trade hit, but you know, like he said, he didn't take it because the candle was too big. It was also at the sessions too, so it was another red flag right there. With the sessions being right there, yeah, right at news, and then also with the sessions right there. So as you guys can see, there's a lot of things here to look at. It doesn't happen all the time, but there's going to be, you know, certain things that you want to look at to avoid certain entries and trades to take. Actually, so this one right here, there's also, so Samir, I take it back. There's no entry here because there's a red flag. It's right at the sessions. Sorry, these lines here are kind of throwing me off, but you guys can see the purple line right there. It's a red flag. So if you guys are not familiar with the red flags, you know, go back and review the video. There's a video that explains the red flags here. It's like when to avoid trades, right? Red flags, when to avoid trades. If you guys are in the course, there's a whole video regarding the red flags, right? I mean, I think I put the video, what it is right here, 4.6. So module 4.6, red flags, when to avoid trades. There's a whole video where I explain when to not take trades. right? So if you guys haven't seen that video, make sure to watch that video, because that video is, you could have avoided this trade completely, because you can see that purple line right there. That purple line right there is the Asia low. So when to avoid red flags when price is near sessions, which is this purple line, you could have easily avoided this loss right here because it's right at the red flag. When price is near opening price, and when I say near, it's either touching it or getting close to it. So for example, if you have price and it's pushing up and it needs to get past the sessions, you would avoid it. So yeah, Samir, this here was a high level momentum scalp, but it would be avoided because of the red flag. That's one of the main ones, the sessions. And if you guys don't know the sessions, you have to turn on the sessions indicator right here. Yeah, exactly. Samir said, thanks, I'll have to take a look. Didn't take the trade, been overwhelmed by fear after a few losses. Yeah, there's just a couple of things here to look at. I mean, when you get the hang of like identifying red flags and stuff, it becomes a lot easier, because like for me, I don't really think about it. I just see these lines over here on the chart. If I see the lines there, I just don't take the trade. It's just the confusion because of these black lines here for the momentum pullback scalp that kind of throws us off a bit. All right, Casey, we'll see you back here on Tuesday. It looks like majority of you guys are off already. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to take a screenshot of my individual profits, and then I'll wrap it up for the day so that you guys can see what I took here. If you guys have any more profits post up, feel free to send them in. Otherwise, looks like we are pretty much good for the day. There's my FTMO number 1, number 2. Three. My funded engineer. And lastly, my TFF. All right, so I'll post up my individual profits. If you guys have profits to post up, feel free to send them in. Otherwise, we are going to wrap this up pretty shortly. Well, I got less accounts to screenshot now because of MFF's gone. But anyways, here are my profits right here, guys. So here are my individual accounts. So here's my FT1 number 1 account, total profit of 1,920, all wins. Here's the first trade from earlier this morning. Then the second one we took right here. Here's my second FTMO, total profit of 1,670. Here's my FTMO number 3, total profit of 1,870. You guys can see all the profits are different. Here's my funded engineer, locked in 1,140 for the day. And then here's my TFF, locked in 1,530. So I'm going to see how TFF is. I'm going to get funded on one account, get a payout. If they're solid, then I'll just add on more accounts. It's not really a big deal for me because I'm just adding them to my copier. But yeah, those are my profits for the day. If you guys have any more profits to send in, feel free to send them in. I'll send these over to the other group as well. We got some more profits here from Casey. Casey locked in a total profit of 1,162 for the day, all wins. Nice work right there, Casey. And I think that's about it. Let me go ahead and just send this over here. So not a bad way to close out the trading week. The trading week was it was NFP, so we were expecting a lot of crazy movements here, but we still were able to close out with some pretty good profits overall. I think we had one loss this week. It was like a partial loss. Everything else was, straight wins for the most part. We got Kevin over here, no trades for the day. Smart man, Kevin, smart man for sure. So Kevin right there didn't take any trades, did pretty solid. Other than that, I think that might be it. So, all right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. It's 8:14 right now. I'm way past my live session time of 8 o'clock. So if there's anything else that you guys want me to cover, feel free. Otherwise, I'll see you guys back here on Tuesday. Just a reminder, Monday is going to be a holiday, so there's no trading on that day. If you guys are new here and you guys want to learn these strategies, just go to our website, kodikaitrades.com. Again, that's kodikaitrades.com. Click on unlock your free access right here. This will give you access to the course. This is what the course looks like. I pretty much have tons and tons of videos here. I've been trading live with you guys for like over 5 years now, almost 7 years. And I've been trading for my trading career for over 10 years. So I have a ton of videos here, a ton of material. It's all free. So if you guys want to watch the video, just go on the website. Sign up to this right here. Also, if you guys are on the YouTube channel, make sure that you subscribe and turn on notifications. I go live about 7 times a week. So whenever I go live, if you guys are subscribed and have notifications turned on, this is also free. You guys just turn that on. YouTube will email you whenever I go live. So if I go live, say like an hour from now, you'll get an email from YouTube telling you that I'm live. So, all right, guys, I think that's about it. If you guys have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, have a great weekend, be safe, and I'll see you guys back here on